I'm going to show you in 3 or 4 minutes that if you take all of these major titles across visual effects and across animation, a lot of that has actually been achieved. And in spite of all the constraints, and I agree with a lot of what Sai has said, the idea of Indian entrepreneurship, the success of Indian business is to rise above those constraints and make things happen. And I'd like to share with you my 2 years of building up this team that was about 200 or 300 people to the 1,200 that we are today. And it's a very Asian thing to talk about people or your business in terms of how many people you have. Usually you talk about it in terms of how many Oscars, what box office, what market cap, and so on and so forth. So maybe we'll throw some of those numbers into the mix as well. So let me kick off by saying that I'm not going to talk about outsourcing, because I think the topic of the day is how do you make India a hub for entertainment? And you can do that in 100 different ways. And maybe outsourcing is one of those ways, or maybe it's not one of those ways. Because in many of the industries in which we participate, for example, animation or whatever, there will always be a more economic place to outsource something to. And governments will put money into it, probably even in the Western world. So I think we'd just like to make the case, first of all, of what are we shooting towards, and then let's talk about how do we shoot towards it. So I'd like to actually go off to show you the video first, if I may, and then move forward from there. Can someone help me play that video? Where is it? It's on the desktop. Okay. I want to play the video for full screen. No, go back. Go back. Yep. Lights down, please. Can you hear lights down? So the point of that video was that, if you look at this team in the last couple of years, just starting with live action, I mean, they worked on the last 2 Harry Potters, Clash of the Titans, Chronicles of Narnia, X-Men, Sherlock Holmes, and the list goes on. And some of these, 7 of these actually were Oscar nominated. And if you looked at the television material, which included Penguins of Madagascar, Fanboy, and Chum Chum, I think between those 2 shows itself, there is probably a collection of about 8 or 9 Emmys. So it's a great tribute to the fact that that work has been done on the animation side totally out of Technicolor in Bangalore. And I think what I wanted to do is to just raise this thought with you that it's not about what can be done. It's about how do we engage it and go about doing that. I'd like to think that just in this last year, what we are doing now with this team in Bangalore is probably equal to the size of the entire animation industry, what it was doing about 7 years back. And I would not be able to find too many countries that can show that type of a percentage growth rate. We still are less than 1% of the global business for animation and visual effects, but that just actually, to a person, to an optimist like me, just points to the headroom. So what does it take to make all of this happen? And I think the thing that you'll agree, most of you in this room are involved with entertainment, and I'd like to start by saying that entertainment